in another attempt to try to let our viewers get to know us just a little better, you're going to do an interview today. We're going to ask you some questions. You're going to give us some answers, get to know you a little better. Let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Name, general information,
Okay.
baseline.
I'm Robin. I'm 35. I'm married to David. We have one daughter, Keegan. David and I have been married for 10 years now. I was born in Louisiana, but grew up in Arkansas, in a town just outside of Little Rock called Bryant. I grew up with my parents and my older sister. You may have seen them occasionally on some of our other videos. They tend to go camping with us often. After I graduated from high school, I left and went to Arkansas State University, where we met. Graduated from there, got married.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't like right after, and now we live in Texas.
So tell us a little bit about growing up and camping.
Okay.
Some memories that you have.
If we went on vacation, we went in the camper. Instead of staying in a hotel, we would just take the camper. We started out with a little pop-up camper, and my mom likes to tell the story of how, well, I don't know if she likes to tell it, but when I was a baby, I basically rolled out of the pop-up somehow. I'm not sure.
Was that because like
Oh,
there's Velcro around pop-up tents?
Yeah, and this was like, what, 30...
The crazy 80s?
4 years ago. Yeah, so I don't know how the Velcro, like how they were made back then, so possibly not as good as they are today.
Right.
A lot of times we would like meet my grandparents or my parents' siblings, and we would all camp together as a family, and actually still do that some today. I come from a camping family on both sides, so it is just instilled, in me. We got a bunker pool like we have eventually, and had that for a really long time. One trip I remember was we went to the Smoky Mountains when I was probably in middle school, I guess. And I remember we were hiking on the Appalachian Trail because it goes through the Smoky Mountains, and the sole of my shoe fell off because we were hiking so much.
Parents now have what kind of camper?
They have a fifth wheel now.
When did your parents get a fifth wheel?
They got the fifth wheel when I was in college.
And so that was probably, you want to talk about maybe our first trip, our big first trip together?
Sure. Our first big trip together was right after they had gotten the fifth wheel, and we went to Yellowstone on a trip. And we were still dating, and my parents had not really spent any quality time with you. I mean, you met, but you didn't really know each other that well.
Right.
And so we spent, was it a week?
Probably about a week.
Maybe like 10 days on that trip, going to several different national parks, and obviously going to Yellowstone and just experiencing that, and really getting to know each other, and also you, my parents, getting to know you a lot better.
Let's talk about how we first met. What was your memory, first impression of kind of our first meeting?
Well, I think that, you've told the story, on your video, which if you haven't
Sure.
watched that yet, we'll put a link, and you can go over to his video and sort of get
My view.
his view of it. But basically, we met at college at an event for freshmen. David had already graduated from college, and I was just entering. I went to this event with several of my friends, and basically was meeting so many new people that I really didn't give you the time of day. We were introduced to each other, said hello, told each other our names, and that was pretty much it. My first impression was
Oh, he's a
really
person.
unmemorable because I just don't.
So sad.
I don't really remember. It wasn't until about 3 years later
Okay.
that I really had a good impression of you, because that was really the second time that we had met. I had been working at a summer camp, because that's what you do in college, you like work at summer camp. And I had gotten back to school and I needed some help with my computer, and so I went to get some help with that, and you happened to be around and you saw me and you decided that you were going to help me.
Segue. So what happened was,
This is my story. You don't get to have a segue.
just saying, I saw you looked familiar, and I was like, hey, I'll help out.
He helped me out. We, at that point, talked for several hours, just working through the problem, but also just kind of catching up on what we had each been doing for the last several years. And it just sort of, we just continued to talk after that, and now we're married.
The influencers in your life, the people who have made the biggest impact.
Okay.
Talk about those individuals.
Okay. Growing up, there was a woman named Annabeth that, not only for me, but for several of the girls that were that I went to school with, I went to high school with, was just a really special person that really taught us about giving of ourselves, how to be a good friend, how to care for other people, and just be selfless. I definitely will say that my sister has always been a huge influence on my life, just because we've been together for my whole life, because she's older than me. So
Yeah.
she's always been there.
And this is a positive influence, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
oh, definitely.
She's
Yeah.
never led you down a bad path. has
Yeah,
she?
I mean, growing up, I always, I wanted to be just like her.
Okay.
I was basically her biggest fan. And,
Why is that?
well, she's very outgoing. She's very just vivacious and always ready to just, go out there and, do the next thing. And she definitely has that spirit of adventure, for sure. And she, never meets a stranger. So those are a lot of the qualities that I don't necessarily have in my own life. I mean, to a certain extent, yes, but she definitely emulates those things, and I have learned so much from her just from the way that she lives her life every day. So she's definitely been an influence on me in my adult life. There's a woman named Jill. She has taught me a lot about being there for other women, and just the knowledge that you have in your own life about giving that to other women, because she's definitely given that to me. It's definitely been something that I have learned from her and want to be able to do for someone else, in my life.
Tell me what would be an ideal campsite for you. And maybe not campsite particularly, what are you into when it comes to camping?
I definitely like sites and places with a lot of variety. So I'd love to have full hookups. I would love to have a site that's paved and level. I'm not one to be off the grid, even though I think that is something that is really cool and intriguing, but it's not really something that we've ever done. And
Boondocking?
I want to do that, but I just don't want to do that all the time. I love a great view. That is one of my favorite things.
What is a good great view?
Well, I know you're really into snow-capped mountains and things like that. I prefer more. I like the mountains, but I prefer more of the forest, trees, sort of mountains. I like the fall and the springtime.
We've been on a couple of pretty cool journeys. We've been to some pretty neat places. What are the ones that stick out the most?
So a journey, or just a place?
Journey. Camping journey so far.
A full journey. Probably Yellowstone.
Which time?
This last time. And I say that because of the journey itself, because we were able to go to several different national parks on the way there and on the way back. and then spending a significant amount of time in Yellowstone was really special. We saw so many beautiful things, beautiful views. We were able to experience it with our daughter. That's probably my favorite one so far.
So far.
That could change with future journeys.
What's one place that you're like, again, probably sticks out above all the rest? And it could be multiple.
Yeah. I think for me, like my most memorable place, and that makes it like my favorite, is when we went to the Smoky Mountains. And the reason,
Which time?
In 2018, it was right after we got the travel trailer.
Okay,
So in 2018, yeah. And we actually went in early June when they have the fireflies there.
Yeah.
And it was just one of the coolest experiences ever. So if you get to go to the Smoky Mountains in early June, you can go see the fireflies sync up, and it's just incredibly amazing. You go, you're basically sitting in the dark, and you're just waiting, and you'll see like a flash of light here and a flash of light there from a firefly, and then all of a sudden they all just go off at the exact same time all together, and it is just the most.
And you're talking about thousands. I mean,
Oh yeah.
what felt like maybe a million? I mean, there's a lot.
But it was just the most incredible experience to get to see that, with your own eyes. That is probably my favorite place that we've been to so far.
So you said these can all change.
Yes.
These experiences we've had to date, these top opinions that we have today can all change. They can change because we keep going.
Right.
Future places, we're camping a lot. Where's a future destination that you would want to go that could change your future opinion or your current opinion?
Well, I 100% want to go to Yosemite.
Okay.
We have never done anything in California. I see all of these things about Yosemite online or on Instagram or Facebook, and I just want to see those things for myself. I would love to do all 5 national parks in Utah at one time.
The big 5.
Yes.
The Utah 5.
I'd love to go to Alaska, although that is not my ideal environment because it is cold.
We've been doing this camping thing on our own for a little over 2 years now.
Right.
Ish. 2 years-ish. So what advice would you give? So 2 questions. What advice would you give someone who's looking to start? And then what advice would you give someone who's just starting?
I think first, you need to make a list of exactly what you want, because there is a variety of options out there for you. There is you can get, first of all, you can just get a tent. You can go tent camping. You can get a little baby teardrop camper. You can get a pop-up. You can get a bumper pool like we have, 5th wheel. You can get a motorhome or a coach, like something that you drive. There are so many different options for you. You need to decide how you want to camp, why you want to camp, I guess. And then what kind of camper, rig, RV is going to be the best thing for how you want to camp. So do your research, and then if there's somebody that's already started, figure out a way to make it the absolute easiest way to go camping. And what I mean by that is, for us, what we have done is, with our bumper pool, the only thing that we have to pack when we get ready to go camping is food and clothes. Everything else that we would ever need, well, mostly,
largely,
yeah, we already have, and it's in the camper. When I get ready to go camping, I don't have to think about all of those other things, because that would just stress me out. And I would be like, okay, I don't want to go now because I'm stressed out. And I want it to be a relaxing thing. There's tons of lists out there of everything that you would need for every aspect of your rig. So what you need for the kitchen, what you need for the bathroom, what you need for the outside, for cooking outside, which you'll do very often. This is for, obviously someone that's not a full-time,
Right.
camper, because we're not.
We don't even have a place that we can store our camper at our house.
Right.
So, I mean, the convenience factor is really low for us because we have to drive 20 minutes just to get to our camper because it's at a storage facility.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the things that you're talking about to try to expedite us, the ability for us to get to the camper, connect, put the food in, put the clothes in, and drive out. I mean, we've tried to get that down to like less than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to make it as quickly, as efficient as possible.
If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Is that the term that the kids use? Subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get notifications.
Comment.
Yeah, leave us a comment. We would love to chat with you in the comments. I don't know, is that it?
I think that's it. Even if
Just watch it.
just watch it. Yeah. Help us out. Cool. Good job.
Thanks.